For the first time in history, there's a widespread awareness of the fact that we're using the Earth's resources at a rate that's not sustainable. And at the center of that unsustainable use of resources is our use of land. And so there's a new awareness and willingness and desire to take action. But there's a lack of actions available that are personal and meaningful and tangible. ecoReserve is addressing that by creating a website where individuals can come and create their own nature reserve. For as little as $25, they can create a nature reserve the size of their living room. And that land is protected in perpetuity. So the money that they're contributing is not only paying for the purchase of the land, but it's also paying for the creation of an endowment, which will fund the monitoring and protection of that land in perpetuity. There are three types of nature reserves that somebody can create. There's a conservation reserve, which is an existing forest that's being protected. There's a reforestation reserve, which is cattle pasture that will be replanted on the eco-reservists' behalf. And so somebody can watch the trees grow over the course of their lifetime and see that piece of land get reforested. And then there's also a sustainable livelihoods reserve, which is land that's made available for the local community members to be able to obtain a sustainable livelihood by doing agroforestry. Because we realize that if a conservation project is not sustainable for the local community members, then the land's not really going to be protected and conserved. Al Gore recently pointed out that a generation from now, our children are going to ask us a question that we're going to have to answer. And the question might be, how could you let this happen? What were you thinking? Or the question might be, how did you find the courage to act and make change? And the first question is almost too painful to answer. We argued amongst ourselves. We took too long to take action. Well, if it's any consolation, I'm sorry. The other question is the one I'd much prefer to answer, which is how did we find the courage to act? And ecoReserve is one of those types of actions where all of you can get involved. And specifically, we're gearing up to a launch this spring, and we need money to finish the development of the ecoReserve website. We're well on the way. We're in the final home stretch, but we need the funding to pay the engineers to get that done. Once we launch, you can all get involved by creating your own nature reserve. Get your friends to create a nature reserve.